Dear students, in the previous classes, I have discussed the formulation of linear programming problem. Once the formulation is done, the second stage is solution of the problem. One method is the graphical method, when there are only two decision variables, which I have discussed in the previous lecture. Another important method is the simplex method. In this lecture, I will discuss how to use Desmos, a graphical calculator, for solving linear programming problem graphically, and how to use Excel solver for solving the LPP model. And also I am going to discuss the special cases of linear programming problem. Now we will go to the lecture. The agenda for this lecture is solution of linear programming problem by extreme points, then maximization problem using a software, Desmos software, then the same problem I am going to solve with the help of Excel solver. Then for our understanding, I am going to take another problem, that is a minimization problem, that also I will solve by Desmos and solver. At the end, we can see the different special cases of our linear programming problem. What are the different cases? Alternate optimal solutions, unbounded problem and infeasible problem. First we will solve the problem by extreme points and the optimal solution. This was the problem which I have formulated and solved using graphical method in the previous lecture, that is 10s plus 9d maximization subjected to there are 4 constraints. We have seen in the graphical method previously, out of these 4 constraints, this cutting and dyeing and finishing constraints, these are binding constraints. I have solved graphically. This I will explain after a few minutes how I got this figure using this software. So the optimal solution to a linear programming problem can be found at the extreme point of the feasible region. What are the extreme points? This is one extreme point. This is another extreme point, this is another extreme point, this is another extreme point, this is another extreme points. When we are solving this problem graphically, we found this point was our optimal solution. Optimal solution. When you look at this space, right, this is our feasible region. So what it says, these feasible regions, that one of the solution will lie on these extreme points. Okay. So there are, first let us find out extreme points. This point is 700, 0, this is 540, 252, 300, 420, this is our this point is 0, 540, 540. Okay. We know our objective function. What is objective function? Objective function is 10s, 10 standard bags and 9 deluxe bags. The 10 and 9 are the profit contribution by each bags. So first we can take this point 0, 550. So this is our first point. We can substitute in our objective function. When you substitute it, the value of z is $4,860. Next we will take this point. How I got this point? By solving these two equations. By solving this constraint and this constraint where it is intersecting, when I solve that one, I will get this point. So when I substitute this point in our objective function, I am getting 6,780. So the next point is 540, 252. How I got this these points? By solving these two equations, that is corresponding constraint. So 7,668. This is the last point, that is 700, 0, that is 7,000. So out of these 4 extreme, this is obviously 0, the value of z is 0. Out of these 4 extreme points, the points which provides maximizing our objective function is this point. Where is that? That is 540, 252. So this is our optimal solution. So this method is called solving a LP problem by extreme points. Here one important point you should know that feasible region should form it should be a convex polygons. Okay. What is a convex polygon? Here when you go back here, see this region is the convex. This region is convex. Some of the example of convex polygon is maybe rectangle like this shape. This is an example of non-convex polygons. When we discuss about nonlinear programming, there will have lot of applications whether the problem is convex or non-convex. Okay. So, what point I am trying to say here is the extreme point will be one of the solutions only if the feasible regions follow convex shapes. So, how to test whether a region is convex or non-convex? So, see convex line only intersects twice. So, when you draw a line, so it is intersects only twice, then we can say this is a convex region or convex function if it is in equations. See the figure on the right hand side. So, here 1, 2, 3 there are more than 2 intersections. So, this is non-convex polygon. So, if our feasible region is non-convex polygons, that finding extreme points and finding corresponding z value will not be your solution. You should be very careful when we are finding the extreme points and corresponding z value. Now, the same problem we will solve with the help of a graphical calculator. This was the problem which we have taken. The same problem in the previous lecture I solved by graphically. In this lecture I have solved by using extreme points. Now, we are going to use a graphical calculator. There is a graphical calculator is available desmos.com, www.desmos.com. So, I have brought this link here. So, this software, if you look at this desmos.com, this is very useful to display any equations. So, here you can type, see when you type plus here, you can write an equation. I already entered for our convenience. So, the first constraint is 7 upon 10 x plus 1 y equal to 630. But in our constraint it is less than or equal to, you can type here less than or equal to. So, this is the region. Okay. Here you see that I have restricted the value of x and y only positive value. Okay. So, this is the region, the first constraint is represented. So, when you remove this less than or equal to sign, you will get only line. When you type this less than or equal to, you will get all the regions. So, this region blue regions represents our first constraint. The second constraint, this is only line, but our constraint is less than or equal to, you can type it here less than or equal to, right. So, this is the second region. So, the third equation also we can, you see that you can highlight it, if you want you can have it, otherwise we can remove it. So, this is again less than or equal to. Okay. This is my third constraint. So, this is our fourth constraint. Okay. So, here also it is less than or equal to this one. So, now we got the common region. What are the common region? This point, this point, this point and this point, the common regions. This also the same thing which I have done it. So, once after we know the feasible region, so the feasible region is this region where the dark blue side. So, first I am going to take an arbitrary objective function value, that is 1800. So, if I say 10x plus 9y equal to 1800, so this is the line which I have drawn it. So, here I can get the value of x where it intersects with x axis. Similarly, I can get the value of y. Okay. I can substitute the z value. Then if you increase the right hand side is equal to say 3600, this is another line. So, when you keep on move this objective function line away from the origin parallel to each other, That is what we are discussing in the previous class. At one point you see that this is extreme point, beyond which if you move on the right hand side you will be landing on the infeasible region. So, this is an extreme point where you are landing in the feasible region. So, this is the way to use your Desmos software for solving a linear programming problem graphically. Very important point, when we go for graphical method, only when there are two decision variables. If it is more than two decision variables, that cannot be displayed in a two-dimensional figure. So, the graphical method is not suitable. Okay students, we have learnt how to use Desmos to solve the problem graphically. Now, let us take the same problem and solve by using solver, that is Excel solver. This Excel solver is an inbuilt function in Microsoft Excel. Okay students, now we will use Excel solver for solving the same problem, that is our maximization problem, which we have solved graphically. Okay. So, I have MS Office 2016, I have opened an Excel, in that I have entered all the data. So, we see the first one, that is A5 coefficient of objective function, A6 changing cells. So, here in the B5 I have written 10 because this is coefficient of objective function 10s plus 9d. Below that I have entered 0 0 and I have highlighted in a green color. There is a reason for that, that is called a changing cell. This is the place where we will get the answer, nothing but the value of our decision variables. Then I have entered all the four constraints. Now, first constraint is cutting and dyeing, okay, that is 7 upon 10s plus 1d. Second constraint is sieving constraint 1 upon 2s plus 5 upon 6d. The third constraint is finishing 1s plus 2 upon 3d. The fourth constraint is 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 4. After that I have written resources utilized. So, what is the resources utilized? I am going to use one formula equal to sum product. Okay. I am going to select this changing cell. I am going to freeze it by selecting the function key F4, press F4, right, comma, then you select this cutting and dyeing, that is B8 to C8, close the bracket, enter. So, what is the meaning of this resources utilized? So, I am going to enter value 1 below the changing cell. So, what is the meaning? If I produce one standard bag and one deluxe bags, how much resources I will utilize from cutting and dyeing department? 1.7 hours. But the right hand side, the maximum hours available is 630. This is the meaning of resources utilized. Why I have used the dollar symbol by pressing F4? Because I am going to drag it. When I drag it, this value should be constant, that is called absolute references. Okay. So, I am going to drag it. Okay, done. Here in the E5 I have written objective function value, in F5 I am going to use one formula, that is equal to sum product, select coefficient of objective function, comma, changing cells. Okay. So, what is the how this sum product function works? So, 10 into 1, 10 multiplied by 1 plus 9 multiplied by 1, then sum it, that is the value. So, 19. What is 19? Suppose if I put 2, for example, a different number I will put 2, 3. So, how the value we got it? 10 multiplied by 2, 20 plus 9 multiplied by 3, 27. So, 20 plus 27 is a 47. This is objective function value. Now, I have entered the given problem into the Excel. Now, I am going to use solver. So, when you go to this data tab, see that there is no solver option on the extreme right. So, what you have to do? You have to go to file. So, there is an option, click on options, then there is an option called add-in. Here you have to select the solver, go, select all, because ERO, that is analysis tool pack, may be used for any statistical analysis. Press OK. Yes. Now you see that when I go for data tab, now there are two options are available. One is for data analysis and solver. Click on solver. In the solver, first we have to select an objective. So, select this cell, the objective value is F5. Okay. The next one is maximization problem, changing cells. This is the where I have given a color, green color, that is the changing cell. Okay. Now, I have to add the constraint. If the problem is minimization, you have to select minimization. If you want to get a particular value, then you have to select value of. So, now I want to add the constraint, click add. Okay. So, I am going to select all these cells, that is D8 to D11. Then you see that there are three different options there: less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, integer, binary, and so on. So, our problem is less than or equal to, select constraint. So, now you select this right side value. What is that? That is F8 to F11. Again click there, press OK. Now, make unconstrained variables are non-negative, that is a default value. Then you see that there are three options: GRG, nonlinear, simplex Excel, evolutionary. So, we are going to follow simplex algorithm. Okay. Then you solve it. You see that the right hand side there is a report, answer, sensitivity, limits. You select all this, then you press OK. Now, we got the answer. What is the answer? The value of see B6 is 540, C6 is 252. When you go to this answer report, when you click this, see here you will get the answer. So, look at this value. Okay. That is final value B6 is 540, that is the value of our standard bag. Then C6 252. This is the exact value what we got from our graphical method problem, and solving the same problem by extreme point method. Okay. The same problem, now I have used Excel, I solved it. There are many other values. There is a slack, right. This I will interpret in coming lecture. There are one more in coming in few minutes. Then there are another sensitivity report that we will discuss in detail in the next lecture. Similarly, the limit report also I will explain in the next lecture. So far, we have taken one maximization problem. That problem we solved graphically. Then the same problem we solved using graphical calculator. Then the same problem we solved by extreme points. Then the same problem we used by solver. Now, we will take another problem, that is minimization problem. This problem also we are going to solve with the help of graphical calculator and with the help of solver. First, we will formulate the problem, then we will go for solving by graphical method. Okay. Now, we will go to an example of a minimization problem. This problem is taken from this book, Anderson, Sweeney and Williams et al. The problem is like this: M&D Chemicals produces two products that are sold as a raw material to companies manufacturing bath soaps and laundry detergents. Based on an analysis of current inventory levels and potential demand for the coming month, M&D's management specified that the combined production of products A and B there are two products A and B must total at least 350 gallons. Okay. So, A and B should be at least, whenever it is at least, the meaning is greater than or equal to. Separately, a major customer's order 125 gallons of product A must also be satisfied. So, a product also should be greater than or equal to 125 A. Product A requires 2 hours of processing time per gallon and product B requires 1 hour of processing time per gallon. So, when this is the resources, this is capacity, it is limited. So, it should be less than or equal to. For the coming month 600 hours of processing times are available. So, how can we write this constraint? So, 2A plus 1B should be less than or equal to 600. M&D's objective is to satisfy these requirements at minimum production cost. Look at the problem here, we have to minimize cost. So, this is an example of minimization problem. The production cost are $2 per gallon for product A and $3 per gallon for product B. So, this we can write in the form of a mathematical model. So, minimization of cost 2A plus 3B. For demand for product A should be greater than 125 and the total production constraints. Okay. So, A plus B should be greater than or equal to 350. Then there is a processing time, there is a limitation. So, 2A plus 1B less than or equal to 600, A and B are greater than or equal to 0. So, this is an example of minimization problem. We know that the first step is we have to plot all the constraints. So, first I am going to take this constraint number 1, that is A is greater than equal to 125. So, this is the point is 125, right. So, the value of A should be greater than or 25. Look at this, it is a greater than type. So, this side should be shaded. And the second constraint is A plus B is greater than or equal to 350. So, this is the red color, it is A plus B greater than or equal to 350. So, it is greater than, so you have to shade on the away from the origin side. The third constraint 2A plus B less than or equal to 600. So, if it is less than or equal to, you have to, this is the blue line. So, that should be shaded towards the origin. So, this. Now, we have to look at the feasible region. So, what is the feasible region? This is our feasible region, where I am using the purple color. This is our feasible region. What is the meaning of feasible regions? All the points in this region will satisfy our constraints. What is the next steps? We have to select one point from here. Okay. So, we can do in trial and error methods a point where the objective function is minimized, that is our solutions. But now, we are going to draw an arbitrary value for our objective function. Okay. This I will explain with the help of Desmos. So, I have entered the value x greater than or equal to 125 and x plus y greater than or equal to 350, 2x plus y less than or equal to 600. So, this region, so we got one point 250 comma 0, another point is 125 comma 350, there is one more point here, that is 125 comma 225. So, what we have to do? These values has to be substituted in our objective function. The values which provides the minimum z value. Okay, the points which provides the minimum z value is our decision values. The graphical solution of M&D chemicals problem. First I have drawn all the constraint, then I have taken an arbitrary value for our objective function. What is that arbitrary value? 1200. 2a plus 3b equal to 1200. Now I have to move this objective functions towards the origin because it is a minimization problem. Then I have taken another value, that another arbitrary value 2a plus 3b equal to 800. So at this point, that extreme points where a equal to 250 and b equal to 100, that is the extreme points where we will be getting our optimal solutions. If I go below this point towards the origin, we will be moving away from our feasible region. So the extreme point is a equal to 250, b equal to 100 is our optimal solution that will minimize our objective function. Next we will discuss the another important term that called surplus variable, okay, at optimal solutions a equal to 250, b equal to 100. So this is our given problem, b equal to 2a plus 3b, 1a is greater than or equal to 125, a plus b is greater than or equal to 350 and 2a plus 1b less than or equal to 600. In the previous lecture we have seen slack variable. What is the meaning of slack variable? Unutilized resources. Whenever your constraint is less than or equal to type, the variable which you are adding on the left hand side is called slack variable. Now there are two constraints, that is out of 3, that is greater than or equal to. So you will be adding another variable here, that variable is called surplus variable. Let us see what is the meaning of this surplus variable. The optimal solution to the M&D chemicals problem shows that the desired total production of A plus B equal to 350 gallons has been achieved, this second constraint. And look at the third constraint, 2A plus B, when you substitute it is equal to 600. This also fully utilized. In addition, note that the constraint requiring that the product A demand be met has been satisfied, A equal to 250 gallons, right, but minimum is 125, but we are producing 250 gallons. In fact, the production of product A exceeds its minimum level by how much? 250 minus 125 equal to 125 gallons. These values is called our surplus variable. We need only 125, but we are producing 250. So that the extra unit is called the surplus values, or the variable which are going to add is called surplus variable. So this excess production of a product A is referred to as surplus. In linear programming terminology, any excess quantity corresponding to a greater than or equal to constraint is referred as surplus. Look at this problem. So now we have added a surplus variable 1a minus s1. Why I have added minus s1? Because our constraint, look at this, our constraint is greater than or equal to type. Look at the second constraint, that also greater than or equal to type. So I have added minus S2 equal to 350. So this S1 and S2 is called our surplus variable. The third constraint, where the constraint is less than or equal to type, I have added another variable S1, S3, that is called our slack variable. So we know that the contribution of this surplus and slack variable is for the objective function is 0. So since we have introduced two surplus variable and one slack variable, in our objective function also that need to be introduced by having 0 coefficient. Now the standard form of our LP problem is 2a plus 3b plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2 plus 0 s3 subjected to 1a minus 1 s1 equal to 125, 1a plus 1b minus s2 equal to 350, 2a plus 1b plus s3 equal to 600. So, now a, b, s1, s2, s3 all are greater than or equal to 0. So, the surplus value for the constraint number 1 is 125. So, here the 125, the physical meaning of this 125 is excess quantity that we have produced. Okay. S2 equal to 0, that also surplus variable, because we are fully achieved, we are producing exactly only 350 for the second constraint. So, there is no extra quantity. The third one also, the constraint is fully satisfied, here also there is no slack variable. Now, we have formulated a minimization problem and we have solved graphically. Now, the same problem we will solve with the help of solver. I have entered the given values. For example, here this is a 2a plus 3b. This is the place where you are going to get the answer. So, this I am writing decision variable. Okay. The decision variable is, this is I am going to give different color. Given different color. So, I have written there are 3 constraints C1, C2, C3. I have written corresponding coefficients. For example, C1 only constraint A is there. So, 1A. For constraint 2 it is 1A plus 1B. For constraint 3 it is a 2A plus 1B. Okay. So, you can enter 0 for our convenient. Here I am going to use sum product. Okay. So, I am going to select this where the green color is there, press F4 for freezing. Now, select these values, close the bracket, enter, drag it. This is the values RU, resources utilized. Okay. This is our sign, this is our right hand side values. Okay. So, now I entered the values. Now, I am going to solve this problem using solver. So, go to data. So, go to solver. Here first I have to select the objective function values. Okay, I did not enter the objective function value here. So, the objective function value is here equal to sum product, select coefficient of objective function, comma, decision variables or the changing cells, enter. So, if you want to check the logic, just you press 1 1. Okay, this is 2 plus 3 5, now it is correct. Okay, now we can go for 0 0, that is okay. Now, solver. So, objective function value is this location. Then here you should be careful, this is a minimization problem. So, select minimization problem, changing cells, this is changing cell. Then I am going to select the constraint. You see that here I cannot select all the constraint at a time. So, first I am going to select 2 constraints which are greater than or equal to type. So, select this. So, I have selected these 2 values, both are greater than or equal to, I have selected on the right hand side value also, add it. The third constraint is less than or equal to. So, I have selected these values. So, it is less than or equal to our 600. So, press OK. Now, I am going to solve by simplex method, press solve. Okay. So, I want to answer sensitivity limits, press OK. Now, the answer has come. So, the value of A is 250, the value of B is 100. So, when you go for answer report, we can see this value of A is 250, value of B is 100. So, we will interpret what is the sensitivity report and limit report in the next lecture. Now we will go to the special case. Special case 1 is alternate optimal solutions. So we will go back to our original problem, that is a 10s plus 9d. There are 4 constraints. Now assume that the coefficient of objective function is, for s it is 6.3. Instead of 10, now it is 6.3s plus 9d. So what will happen when the coefficient of objective function is changes? Okay. So when you go, I have solved in Desmos. When you go here, you see that now previously this 540, 252 was the solution, but now our objective function is parallel to these 2 locations, this location and this location, between these 2 points, that is 300, 420 and 540, 252. So what will happen? All these points are now solution points. Okay. So this we can minimize, we can switch off these lines. For example, this is our first constraint, I have drawn it. This is second constraint, this is our third constraint. So now if I plot, you see the first objective function value, the 3780 I have taken arbitrarily. So when I select another point, so what is happening how? Now this black, the line which is in black color, it is between these 2 points. Now the solution points lies, all the points, you see that it is coinciding with this extreme line. So now all the points in this region will satisfy our objective function. Now what is happening here? We are getting our multiple optimal solutions, that is called alternate optimal solutions. This is our case number 1. The case number 2 is infeasibility. Okay. When the infeasibility situation will come, for example, the company is creating another 2 new constraints. What are the 2 new constraints? So they want to have more than the requirement of 500 standard bags and 360 deluxe bags, minimum it is required. So what will happen when you draw this? When you draw this minimum requirement, so this is your one constraint, this is our another constraint. So why we say the infeasible? You see that there is no common regions. There is no common regions which satisfy all our constraint. So that situation is called infeasible solutions. The problem with no feasible solution do arise in practice most often because the management's expectations are too high or because too many restrictions have been placed on the problem. Another important point you should remember, this infeasibility is independent of the objective functions. If the problem is infeasible, it is nothing to do with the objective functions, it is only with the constraint. It exists because the constraints are so restrictive that no feasible region for the linear programming model is possible. When you encounter infeasibility, making changes in the coefficient of objective function will not help. That means the problem will remain infeasible. For example, let us see how this infeasibility occurs. We have seen that the company is bringing a new constraint, that is resources needed to manufacture 500 standard bags and 360 deluxe bags. This 500 and 360 was imposed by the company. Suppose when you substitute these values in our constraint, 7 upon 10, 500 plus 360, 710. So the resources required is 710, but the resources available only 630. So additional resources of 800 hours is required. For the second sieving constraint, there is no problem because the minimum resources required only 550, but the available resource is 600, there is no problem. But look at the finishing constraint. The finishing constraint, the minimum required resource is 740 hours, but available resources only 708. So 32 hours is required. Look at the last constraint, inspection and packaging. The hours required is 140 and hours available is 135. So 5 additional resources are required. So when you bring these constraints which are not achievable, then you will end up with the infeasible solutions. Then the third case is unbounded problem. The solution to a maximization linear programming problem is unbounded if the value of the solution may be made infinitely large without violating any of the constraints. Okay. Now, the feasible region is infinitely large, but it is not violating any constraint. For a minimization problem, the solution is unbounded if the value may be made infinitely small. For maximization problem, it is all the constraints, okay, not bounded. But for the minimization problem, whenever if the value is infinitely small, then you will occur at the unbounded problem. For example, we see this constraint. So this condition is might be termed as managerial utopia. That is not possible. So maximize 20x plus 10y. So value of x is utopia, means that is unimaginable, something which can be present in imaginary. So x is greater than or equal to 200, y is less than or equal to 5, sorry, x is greater than 2, y is less than 5. When you plot graphically, so this is the point where x is greater than 2, so y is less than or equal to 5. So this is y is this one, this point, y is less than 5. So now some constraints are missing, it is not bounded, because these regions, see these regions satisfy our both the constraints, but there is no boundary for that. So this situation is called unbounded problem. How to make unbounded to bounded? Okay. The occurrence of an unbounded solution is often the result of missing constraint, because there is no constraint here to make the boundary. However, a change in the objective function, right, may cause a previously unbounded problem to become bounded with the optimal solution. You see, this problem which I have taken is maximization type. If you do some adjustment on our objective function, our unbounded problem may become a bounded problem. For example, the graph and figure shows an unbounded solution for the objective function 20x plus 10y. Okay. However, changing the objective function to minus 20x minus 10y, okay, will provide the optimal solution when x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So what will happen when you multiply it by minus, your maximization problem will become a minimization problem. Now this x equal to 2, this x equal to 2 will be your solution, even though there is no changes have been made in the constraint. Okay. This we can see graphically. First I have drawn my first constraint, x is greater than or equal to 2. Second constraint, y is less than or equal to 2. So this region there is no, right, because I did not restrict value of x and y is positive, that is why it is going, but these regions, that is a rectangular region, is our feasible region, there is no boundary. Suppose if I make a, right, an objective function like this, right hand side equal to 80, so 160, 240, like that, there will be a lot of solutions for this, because there is no boundary. So how we can make this one into a bounded problem, when you multiply the coefficient of objective function by minus, right, this will become a minimization problem. When it is becoming a minimization problem, the value x equal to 2 will be one of our solution. Summary of this lecture: we have taken a maximization problem that we have solved using Desmos software. Then the same problem we have solved using solver. After that, we have taken a minimization problem, we have formulated a minimization problem that we have graphically solved using Desmos software. Then the same problem we have solved by using solver. Then we have seen special cases of linear programming problem. What are the special cases? Alternate optimal solutions, unbounded problem, infeasible problems. The next class we will start with a new topic, that is sensitivity analysis. Thank you very much.